everybody, and welcome to another episode of Michael in the Backyard. We're not in my backyard anymore. We're in, let's say, the southeast for sure. And we're on vacation, and this is my new hoopty. New to me. I don't buy anything new. My newest car I own, if you guys have been following me for a while, is my 2011 Impala. What we have here is an 05 King Ranch with 146,000, 147,000 miles. Has the hard top on it, which I have up because I need to adjust this latch. It's out of adjustment. Very much loose. It's doing, I don't know what's going on there. My dad that lives down here, this will be my fourth vehicle I've brought back from South Carolina. Oops. Not South Carolina, the Southeast. The beauty of getting vehicles in this area that have been in this area their whole lives is there is no rust. I live in Iowa. I live in the rust belt, as they call it. A 20-year-old truck like this would have rust. Just, fenders would be disappearing and stuff would be just gone. I'm going to take you underneath here. Viewer discretion advised for seeing a 20-year-old truck on its underbelly. And if you live in the Rust Belt, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you live anywhere else, you're like, I don't see the big deal there. Let me show you. Let's get on the ground here. Oh, ouch. Okay. I want you to look at this frame. Full length of the vehicle. That's the frame, guys and gals. That's the rear end back there. I know it's hard to see. The light's not great under here. But what I'm trying to say is everything on here is original. Original exhaust, original clamps, original emergency brake cables that are still got the rubber coating or the clear coating on them. Look at that bolt that's holding on to the leaf spring. Look at that leaf spring. Are you kidding me? Look at that leaf spring. Let's get a closer look here. How much rust do you see on that leaf spring? Nope, not a lot. Fender wells. Still see the factory, I'd call it almost factory overspray. I mean, this thing is cherry. Now, one thing I did do, the tires on it were old and cracked. And my dad asked me what kind of tires you put on it. I said, I authorize you to put, these are Hankook Extremes Dyna Pro A2s. So that's what we put on it. Brand new tires are on it right now. I am officially on paper official owner, third, but my dad had to transfer it. He bought this last October. We're down here in June. I'm finally getting to see it in person for the first time day after yesterday. So this is the King Ranch. This has the 5.4 Triton. 3V Triton. Now, Tritons have their known issues. Spark plugs just go flying through the fender wells, and timing chains whip holes through the roof of the hood. Okay, maybe not that bad, but those are the two biggest issues when it comes to the 5.4 Triton. I personally have a timing chain kit I've already purchased before I came down here. I'm not doing this down here. It will drive it home. There's no making no noise. It's doing all right. But let's just take a quick walk around, and I want to show you guys this truck. The King Ranch has full leather interior, full leather. It's a beautiful truck inside. I mean, like I said, one owner, very well taken care of vehicle. I'm proud to own it. And oh yeah, on the way down, guess where we stopped? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of he will fit right there. Look at that. Buc-ee's. We stopped by Buc-ee's. We always stop by Buc-ee's at least once on our travels, just because. I needed an armrest pillow. I knew I was going to need an armrest pillow, so I got me a Buc-ee's armrest pillow because, there again, it's a real touristy, trappy type thing, but by golly, I tell you when to get there, though. And this was just on the other side of Knoxville, I think. 6 a.m. There is like 30 people there. That's it. And in Bucky's land, that's empty. There's nothing there. So what this video is going to be start off about, we're going to cover some repairs and some minor things. The truck's in excellent shape. I've driven it around about 70, 80 miles already, and I just did a walk around. There's a couple things I want to do. We're going to do, in this video, we'll cover polishing the headlights. We're going to cover front end and rear end differential oil, because we're pretty sure that probably has never been touched, and it's just not a bad idea to take a gander at what's going on in those differentials. And but the only other issue I got, I don't even call it an issue. Now, what you have a problem with down in the south isn't the bottom rusting out, it's top down is more of a problem. As you can see here, the clear coat has, you know, done some crazing, glazing, and hazing. And but on top, it's even worse. And I don't know what got a hold of this. I mean, how does this looks like it got briars and brush and stuff. But the nice thing is it's all surface rust here. So this, when I get back home, is going to be something I address. Is I'm going to take them, from here to the other side there, and from the back, we're going to take all this down. We're going to reprime and put a fresh coat of paint and clear on it. And honestly, it doesn't have to be a professional job, because I'm holding you at head height right there, and nobody's ever going to see that. And you can start to see some of it showing right here though. But anyway, that'll be another video on how I'm going to do this paint work. And I'm not a professional painter, but I'll play one on TV for you folks to show you what I'm going to do. It's not the right way or the wrong way. It's just the way I'm going to do it. That's all there is to it. That rhymed. I'm sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. Let's go back in the back here. It's got 4x4. It's got a Leonard. Got some pool noodles back here. It's got a Leonard bed liner in it. It's got this. What's the brand name of this guy? I thought I saw something. Can't remember the brand of it. It's on here somewhere. But got a hardcover. What's you guys' opinion on hardcovers? This is lockable. It's got 2 locks, and then the tailgate also will lock. So that's good stuff. I've got it open right now, like I said. And my dad did put new gas struts on that. Him and I had discussions of what I can authorize him to do, and then things I said I don't want you to do, because this is video content for me to share with my audience. Factory running boards, undamaged and sturdy. They're as tight as they were from the factory, because the brackets aren't rusting off of it. Now you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but when I get it back to Iowa, when the winter time hits, this will be in the garage. This will not ever see salt or snow, and it will last me many, many years to come. Look at that. Yeah, we're gonna take care of that. Alrighty, what are we doing first off? Look at these headlights. I'm gonna show them to you. Look, take a look here, is the words I'm trying to pick out. See how this is all kind of hazy and foggy looking, and it's got, you can tell there's a little bit of damage there, here and there. Not severe, but severe enough I'm going to get after it with a little more aggressiveness than if it was just slightly dull. Now, what you see here is I've already masked it off, and this is why you mask it off, because you're going to be using abrasives on a variable speed drill, low speeds, and all that kind of fun stuff. This one is the Mother's new lens, you know, because this would be like the old lens. This would be the new lens. Spelling is kind of fun, ain't it? Headlight renewal kit. So this is going to have 800 grit, 1500 grit, 3000 grit. Honestly, you can't tell which is which, rough or smooth. Then it's got a polishing ball and some Mother's plastic headlight lens restore for lights. There again, 4 lights. Plastic polish, clarifies, protects, and maintains, removes oxidation and surface scratches. This is what you'd use if you had mild damage. But as you can see here, this has, I'm going to try to get a before and after here, so we'll give you a sweep around like this. And this honestly aren't awful, guys. These are probably some of the best 20-year-old headlights I've ever seen. But we can get rid of this. Makes a heck of a difference in the look of a truck. And when you see that hazing, it's like, yep, that's got some hazing showing some aging. We're going to make it so you won't even know that this was ever done like this. This will not be hazed at all. Yeah, there's definitely some, like here you can almost see, these things have like, sometimes they have a clear coat on them that protect them, and that clear coat starts coming off. And that's what that kind of looks like right there. It's got some funky stuff going on there. But what this will do is it'll increase how much light can be cast out, and it'll make it just brighter and harsher on the person looking at it, that's what you want. You want to be seen. That's what we're going to do. To have all this, to drill the abrasive, and this is a Velcro abrasive here, and I like to use water. Now this kit, I bought it at the local AutoZone and near us here, and I'm not a sponsor for this, but I just wanted one that had the power tools. They have no power tools needed one. That's fine. You can work a lot harder at it doing that. This makes life easy. Now, the one thing I want to warn you of is this is the speed you're going to go, not this. And this, if it has 2 speeds, like that, pick the low speed. Low speed is what you want because you can actually burn this and melt it and do some more damage than good. And I always use water. I've got a little garden hose here that you spritz, and honestly, these are like $34, $35 a kit. But with this this is a lot of liquid. This is a lot of Powerball. I put this in a Ziploc bag when I'm done. I put all this in a Ziploc bag when I'm done. I let it dry out enough and then Ziploc it so it don't mold on you. But then you can do bunch and bunches of headlights. Now, on some headlight kits have this wipe stuff you put on it. It's like a clear coat, a wipe-on clear coat. And I've used that. That works excellent. But over time, you have to do it over and over again. And sometimes it doesn't always hold up. I've done it on my Impala before I hit a deer in the face with it and took out my headlights. So I was going to do a test of how long it would last. This here is saying every 4 months or so, give this thing another light buffing. And once you get all the pits out of it, and then you can keep up with it with the light buffing. So I'm going to set you guys down here. We're going to get busy wet sanding and walk you through this process little by little. I wet it down first. We got the 800 grit on here, and here again. And usually I like to use 2 hands on this because you got better control, but we'll try it like this. This kind of grabby. And it's going to look worse before it gets better. It's going to look hazy, but you want to have all these little marks you see in here gone. Now this headlight's so big, it's ought to have a plot map. A lot of acreage here. Now you can see this, all that white coming off, that's all the plastic leaving the chat here. And what we'll end up with is a uniform finish with this 800 grit. I'm already seeing a lot of the problems and imperfections starting to disappear. This little place down here got worse because we're taking that clear coat away. That's what we want to do. Now we're switching to the 1500 grit. It's a lot finer. But as you can see here, this is also looking hazy. This should bring back a little less haziness, and then we'll keep going to finer and finer grits. .3000 grit pad next. I want you to take a quick look here. This is just the 3000 grit. We haven't even used the buffer yet. Now when this is dried off, it'll be a little hazy, but 3000 leaves it pretty clean as compared to, let's go over here and look at this guy. You can see the yellowing, the discoloration, the pitting. That's why I record in 4K, so you can see it. Alrighty folks, this is next morning. Yes, I'm donning a different shirt because, you know, sometimes I wear the shirt. Big old jet airliner. Anyway, this is the next morning. And yeah, sometimes I wear the shirt 2 days in a row because I try to take it easy on laundry every now and then. And nobody's here to smell me through the camera. Okay, well, I got the headlights polished. And as you can see here, we've gotten rid of all the yellow on both of them. And when you stand back, they look much better, for sure. They look fresher, but I can still see, and I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, and I won't know till I edit. There's a little hazy line, like right through here. And a little haze, a little different, a little hazy and crazy, and I don't know what you want to call it there. I mean, the glass is now smooth, or the plastic is now smooth, but there's definitely, I mean, I've got rid of, there's some surface stuff underneath here, you know, just from being 20 years old. So what I think I'm going to end up doing, and I'm going to show you that step 2, is I'm going to spray, they've got lens restorer, it's like a clear coat for this plastic that you can spray on there, and it just looks just like when you spray a garden hose on it, and it's smooth and wet, and then it dries like that. It's almost like a wipe do or some kind of stuff like that, but it'll hold up better. They say with that Mothers that you need to reapply every 4 months, you know, reapply it every 4 months. Well, with the clear coat, just like on your paint on your car, you don't have to reapply every 4 months. So we're going to do that. That's on the agenda today. We've got to change the rear end oil and the front end oil. We're going to do that, or gear oil, gear lubrication. I watched a few videos. Now, you guys probably thinking, why does he watch videos? Because doesn't he know how to deal with this stuff already? Yes, I've done this type of thing before, but I like to watch other folks' videos and pick up on some tidbits of information that might be valuable to you. And so you don't struggle as much as you may struggle, even though you know what you're doing. And I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning and I couldn't fall back asleep, so I watched a handful of videos on it. And I learned that the front differential cover, you don't pull that off because it's hard to get off with all the steering mechanisms in the way. And I also learned that there's a gasket on the rear one. It's not just RTV around it. There's an actual gasket back there. And I want to put the gasket back on. I will put some sealant around the gasket for sure, but and then what was the other thing I learned? There's something else, but as I get into do it, I'll remember it and I'll tell you about it. So we're gonna do that, but while I'm waiting, we're just casually waiting around. I'm gonna see if I can fix this rear latch, and then we'll jump into some more stuff because I got to make a trip to the store, automotive store, to pick up some more stuff. So let's see if we can get into the back of this spring-loaded doohickey here. Only one of the latches is currently locking. There we go. Up and away. So what's going on up here is we got this loose piece. This nut's not even tight. So we're gonna take that off. Because this piece is plenty strong by itself. And it sits in a square and it's off by 90 degrees. So I'm gonna get up on the tailgate, because what it's got to do here, folks, is it goes down and latches across here. When you put the key on it, it goes and locks underneath here, under both sides. The other one's properly adjusted, and it looks like it's pointing straight back at the moment. So I'm gonna stick that. I hope I can get this camera at the right angle for you guys and not drop you on the ground. Okay, so this key thing doesn't work very well. Oh, there it is. It's tight. Oh, there we go. It's almost like it got turned too far one way maybe at some time in history. So I turn it that way, it's 90. Turn it this way, it's out. So if I want it to be out, but not out too far maybe, something like that. Okay, we're getting there. We're figuring it out. Something's going on with this key switch. I'm gonna pause you guys for a second. Okay, I've removed the key lock, which just has a little washer like this. It's got two flats on it that line up with this to keep it in place. And also the tonneau cover here is also so it can't rotate, which is what you want. But what I've got here is the key should just move 90 degrees back and forth one way smoothly, but it's been broken inside. I can actually go all the way around. And the other one seems to do what it's supposed to do. Let's go over and look at it. So this one, you can go in here and it moves freely. 90 has a hard stop, 90. So you just need a 90 degree sweep with a hard stop. So that's the problem we've got with this. I'm gonna go ahead and, I don't need to lock it just yet. We're gonna get online and see if we can find us a new one, because that's what needs to, that's the only thing that's gonna fix this. You can't get into the internals of this and make it all better. So I got a dimension, I can get some sizes, I can get what I need and get on a website like MasterCar or something and see, or maybe the Jungle website, and see what I can find. Alrighty folks, we're back. I went and bought some supplies here to do the differentials. And we're gonna, in this video, we're gonna do the highlighted version of it. I'm gonna do a more detailed video on how to do your differential, front and rear, and the stuff that I used, and the stuff that I wouldn't even say recommend, but this is just what I use. And sorry, I've got extreme close up there. But while I get distracted easily, right? New truck to me, and new fun. So my folks did an awesome job for the last 6 months taking care of this truck. They actually cleaned all the leather really well, got all any stains that were in it out. But then, and they used some McGuire's leather treatment. And I just found this morning. And what kind of stuff do you guys use? This is called Chemical Guys 105 Angeles, or whatever that is. Tradition Lifestyle. Leather condition, UV protection, moisturizing agents. You know, restores soft, supple feel, helps prevent cracking and fading, deep moisturizing formula. And I did this here look like this. And I wiped it down, and boy, that has a nice, deep, dark, rich tan leather look to it. I'm digging on that. So I'm gonna see what it does for the rest of the seats here. So taking you along on this little journey. Let's see here, we'll put you right up here. And we'll just get you a highlight of what this is going to do. Now this is it says apply it with a microfiber tile, but see how light tan it is here? Now watch what happens when I put this on it. Good, bad, or otherwise, something is better than nothing. Okay, I shouldn't say that. You know, something of decent quality is better than nothing. So I'm just gonna look how this thing just drinks it up. This leather is very, very dry. And this, actually, I like this dark color. And then when it dries, it's drying to a nice lighter color like that armrest did. And this thing is thirsty, boys, I tell you what. So I'm just gonna coat the living tar out of this thing and give it a whole new look. And this isn't doing anything but bringing out the natural tan color, and it's restoring moisture that's missing, because this stuff here feels, it's slick. It's like plastic right now. And the armrest I did already feels more supple and more traction on your fingertips. Now some people might not like this darker color, but that's okay. It's just my truck, and you know, I like what it's doing for it here. Look at the difference between that and that now. And the other thing you'll notice right away is between here and here, this is going to absorb a lot of that moisture out of this. I might need another container. There's a lot of leather in this truck, but it's just changing the whole look of it and the feel of it. It feels less like vinyl and more like, oh, you start seeing the cowhide cracking and stuff, and it really brings out the grain in the leather. Oh, that's sweet. You can't be mad at that. Well, some people could be, because there's people out there that can just be mad about everything, but that's not me. Oh man, I love what that just did to that. Brings out so much more character. If this was wood, it would be a wood grain, but this is cowhide grain. And it's got some aging on it. It's showing some of its aging, but it's bringing out, and we're just gonna, and it says apply with a microfiber towel, and that's what I'm doing here. But this stuff, I ain't kidding you, it's just drinking it up. Look how fast that changes as soon as it's just like a sponge just sucking in that moisture. Now, I guess there's probably some leather guys out there just cringing. It's like, don't ever put that on your seats. Well, I guess I'll learn the hard way. Did I do any research? No. I just saw this, and I like the idea of a paste and thickness of it. Other than a spray is going to be thinner, and this is just going to apply. You know, we put lotion on your skin. This is like putting lotion on your seats, only it doesn't become slippery. Oh, you can just see it already feels a little less. And it says here, wipe off the excess. When it dries, just wipe off the excess type of thing. Because the leather just absorbs what it needs, more or less. It's not like it'll become saturated, I don't believe. This is all cured leather. And I got to get all the way around everywhere. But I just wanted to show you guys the immediate results of what's happening here. Oh my gosh, look at the seat here. Look at the change here. Look how deep and rich that gets instantly. And I'm getting this stuff down into the threading, because all that leather that's around the threads needs to be moistened up too. Becomes supple, less likely to crack and break, you know. That's what you're after here, is no cracking, no breaking. But as you can see here, this is already starting to dry a little bit, and it's not as deep and dark as when you first apply it, but you can already feel that it's less hard. You can get your fingernails to leave marks in it now. That just tells you that it's, before you couldn't. It was dry like concrete. I'm not a leather expert, guys. Won't even pretend to be one. But that looks so much better. To me anyway. Other people it might not, but to me, I'm really digging on it. It's like I just recovered the seats all over again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need another bottle of this stuff. There again, I'm trying to get it on thick enough that it can soak in evenly all over. My guess is I'll do this at least once or twice. Then I won't have to do this very often in order to maintain. Yeah, you can see it's drying out now. And it's getting to a lighter color. It just has that illusion of really turning it dark when you start. But now that's, when I just put this second layer on, it feels like it's just sitting on top more. Before, it just sucked it all in so quick. One thing about the King Ranch here is it seems to have this leather feels thick. I mean, it's got some serious thickness to it. Here again, I'm trying to just get it into all the seams, push down in there. That's why this spongy type microfiber towel is really helping get that in there. And leather is never just a one and done thing either. People don't realize how much maintenance it does require on some of this type of leather. Because this almost has the appearance of a, let's just call it raw leather look. I'll put another layer on the armrest here. Then we'll let it sit and we'll come back and look at it and see what we think of the results. Because I was a little stunned when I did the armrest in the parking lot of the automotive store because I just couldn't wait. And now it's already back to a lighter color. So we're going to give it another hit here. I'm not looking to make it and keep it dark and saturated. I just want it to look like it's supposed to look a little bit. Obviously the back seats are about as original as it gets because, you know, most trucks a lot of people don't ride in the back seats. Most generally, it's not a thing. So, but these front seats, especially the driver's seat, receives a lot more wear and tear. But yeah, I wiped that in and it's just like all the moisture just gets sucked into the seats so quick. Trying to revitalize these things a bit. As you can see the headrest compared to the seat here, how much darker that just made it. But wow, I'm looking at the passenger seat now and it's starting to dry and it looks rich. Oh my gosh. Now folks, that's starting to look really good. Now that side still looks pretty dark now since I just did the application, but as you can see, as it's soaking in and moisturizing, it's got an even rich color look to it now. Now I would call this as original as you can get, but it is also 20-year-old leather, and you can see there's some staining maybe right here. I know my mom told me she did her best to get some of the stains out, but I think once I retreat it, you won't even notice those are even being there. It'll be so clean. Look at these cute little headrests. I mean, they're about the size of my hand. But yeah, I gotta get the back sides of the seats. I gotta get it all. A lot of leather here. I think I'm gonna have to go get me another bottle or two. We'll see. This will not absorb nearly as much because this is not nearly as dry. It actually has some suppleness to it, where the front just felt like cardboard. Yeah, this is going to be real dark like charcoal because this, let's just say, body sweat and stuff will do things to leather, especially if it's allowed to absorb it. But this will lessen the contrast. But yeah, you can see how dark this one still looks. It's kind of hard to see, and that one actually has lightened up quite a bit already just from drying. I think we're going to do at least two trips around the sun on this thing, just so it keeps. I want to got to reanimate this leather a little bit. All right, we'll be back when I'm done and show you the final reveal. I've got one of the visor. I got one of these visors installed here. Just ordered. There'll be a link in the description below. But I'm going to show you how brittle these things are. Okay, you gonna be able to keep it on there for me, boss lady? But look at these things. I'm gonna.
You're in the way.
Pull this one off, but look at this. Look how these are just. They've been on there a long time. I'll show you what I'm gonna do to replace them here. You probably can't hear me very good because I left the microphone on Boss Lady. But yeah, these are very brittle. They just break right off. But they were cracked and not very strong anymore. So we're replacing them all. I'll show you how to get this sticky stuff off. Some of this you can grab on, you can obviously just pull off, but then the stuff that's really stuck, I'll show you what I'm gonna do to get that off. And then we'll get the rest of them in a little bit here. But we got this stuff here that's stuck on there really good. And the ones I'm putting on, I can't honestly recommend if they're the best or not, because they're brand new and I won't know. Trying to get this off without running any of it through my fingers. That'd be nice. Now here's what I'd recommend you not to do. I got it on there, centered up here. People can see what we're doing. That's good.
No, I have to go on the other side.
You're fine right there. You need the sun to your back.
I can't see nothing.
You don't need to.
Okay, you told me that.
I'm gonna carefully take a razor blade back here. So you want to be very careful you're cutting the rubber, because you could really ruin some paint here. Even though we're going to cover it back up with some more rubber, but you don't want to ruin the ability for the paint to protect it from rusting. So I'm being very careful here. I don't recommend this. But now we're down to just the leftover sticky. I'll show you how we're going to get that off. So my dad had one of these rubber wheels here. It's for removing decals and different things like that without messing with the paint. It actually works really well. It's going to make a little bit of a mess. As you can see, it's getting rid of the sticky and taking it down to the paint without removing the paint. This one's a soft piece here. And it's important to get all that sticky off of there. I'm running this on slow speed too. You don't want to burn it. As you can see here, there's a whole bunch of debris all over everything. So we're going to take a cloth and kind of wipe that off, get the loose stuff gone. If you had an air compressor handy, you just blow this stuff off because it's just dust at this point. But it's important to get it all gone as far as possible. So we don't have it getting in between our adhesive. So right now we got that pretty clean. We're going to use the alcohol wipes that came with it. Now the kit I bought has 4 of these, 1 for each visor. They dry out pretty quick. They're not supposed to leave any residue or moisture on anything. Let's wipe this down. We only need to wipe down the areas where the visor is going to be sticking. As you can see here, you probably can't see it very well, but it's drying. And it actually must be some sort of alcohol and other stuff in the wipe. Which one do we have here? This looks like the right one. Some of them have right, left, and all that stuff. This one doesn't. But you can easily see that this one goes and fits right here. Remove it from the package. You can see the adhesive strip there. We just strip the backing off, and then carefully use your fingers to kind of stabilize things and kind of get it where you want. Eyeball it top, bottom, left, right, middle. Then press it on. Now what's nice and handy about these is you can leave your window down that far in a rainstorm or on a hot day, and the air and the heat can get out of your car or truck. Then it says to push on it for 1 minute. Seems like a long time. But that's stuck on there pretty good. That's adhered. We'll do the same thing on the other side. You can see traces of where the other one was because it was a little different shape. We can get a little bit, get some alcohol and rub that off, get that gone. But yeah, there you go. I like the way that turned out. What's Michael in the backyard Pop's got going on over here?
Oh, I'm trying to tighten this serpentine belt. It doesn't have an automatic tensioner on this model of vehicle, the old 1997 Jeep Cherokee. And so you have to loosen the idler, and then you can crank down on the adjuster to tighten it. It's still squealing a little bit. It's a new belt. It started to stretch a little bit, I suppose. And I'm trying to...
What was that rule of thumb you were telling me about earlier on these belts?
Oh, you find the longest, it's probably hard for you to view.
It's going to be hard to see on this
one.
one.
But you find the longest distance between pulleys, the longest stretch that you have. And if you turn the belt up 90 degrees, if you still turn it up 90 degrees, you need to tighten it just a little bit more. Yep. I'm a little less than 90 right now, so I'm trying to creep up on it.
There you go.
Doing it a little bit at a time to keep from over tightening it. But
it was squawking on you a little bit.
Squealing like a banshee.
Squealing like a banshee.
And only when you turn the
It was only when the air was on?
Only when you turn the air conditioner on, so it gets an extra
serious drag, yeah.
Extra drag, and so
all right.
I think I may have it this time, but if I don't, I'll do it again.
Do it again. Rinse, repeat.
Rinse, repeat.
Until it don't squeak.
That's right.
Cool.
You got it, old man.
You got it.
I'm closing
all right.
down now.
So we'll have to do the visors on this side. Now, what's crazy is this side the glue's starting to let go, but these visors aren't nearly, I mean, I can't break these. The others, the way this truck was parked for many years was with the driver's side exposed to the sunlight. So the sunlight just ate this side's lunch. So if I wanted to just do one side and not the other right now, that would be fine, but they wouldn't match. But you know, you can only see one side of a vehicle at a time. All right, with that being said, we're gonna get the other two done, and then we're gonna get back onto the keyholes here, and then we're gonna do some differential work. All right, folks, there it is, installed on both sides. Looking pretty sharp. Looking pretty sharp. I like it a lot. Now I'll be able to roll the windows part way down. I almost wish I'd have slid this one ahead just a little bit to catch this just a little bit more, but I think it's gonna be all right. Looks good. Now, we're gonna jump into the differential fluid here, and I'm gonna show you a little something here that you wanna watch for. And this will be important for some oil purchases you're gonna make. Sorry, I was grunting and groaning, but watch these tires here. Now, when I'm in neutral, jack's up, front end chalked, and I'm gonna show you the rear end here, what it does. I'm gonna roll this tire forward, and you see that tire over there rolling forward? What that means is you got a posi traction rear end. What that means is there's clutches in here that cause both these wheels to pull at the same time, but they have a clutch in there that lets it slip. So when you go around corners, it doesn't fight you going around corners. So that's kind of cool. I'm digging on that a lot. But yeah, forward or backwards, same direction. Now, if you're up here and you've got roll this one forward and that one goes backwards, that's an open differential. That means you don't need any friction modifiers in your rear end oil. And some oils you can buy have the friction modifier in it, and then there's some that don't have the friction modifier in it, and you add that into it while you're filling up the differential. And it's usually just a little tiny tube of stuff you add into it that helps it along. But yeah, that's a posi. And then there's others that have, if you see an airline going into the differential area and going in somewhere, and you have a locker, it's called a locker type rear end. There's air lockers, electric lockers. If you have one of those type of lockers in there, and it's basically at that point an open differential until you kick the locker in, and then you want to follow your recommended stuff for that. So we're going to get busy pulling this cover off and get this oil drained, and we'll show you what it looks like inside there. Since the flood is over, I can go ahead and back this one out. Hopefully. So far, only a couple drops on the driveway. Oh, that spare tire wasn't there. There'd be lots of room. Look at there, look at there. And them clutches we talked about, they're in this side and that side. Now that's those spider gears lock up in there. But yeah, that's going to drain a lot of it right on out. Now we got to get all this gluey stuff off, and that's a mess. But yeah, the ring gear on both sides look really good. Just normal pattern. I mean, if there was a wear pattern that was supposed to be perfect, that looks pretty good. Got her clean. Not just good, but good enough. Kind of halfway. Halfway's all the way on the forward way. All right, as you guys can see here, we pulled the bolt. We pulled this off. It's a pipe thread. I've already got some sealant back on it, but it takes a 3/8 socket or 3/8 drive, like ratchet or extension or whatever you want to use. I used a 3/8 one of these and got it out of there, which was awesome. Now we're going to put some oil back in it. All right, what I'm using here is some Lavalier full synthetic, which is what it recommends, 75W40 140, which is what it recommends, and it says contains limited slip. So this means I don't have to add any slip lock or any limited slip oil to it. So that's a good thing. That saves you some money, even though these cost a little more. The other thing about these bags is they're sealed on top. It's a little tech tip here. They're sealed like that. And what you do is cut your tip off like this, and oil comes out pretty easy. The tip, cut that tip, open it up, and you can reuse this tip on the rest of them. And that way you could preserve a tip that isn't open yet. Just a little tech tip there. Now we're gonna see if we can get you guys in here. Try to get that planted up in there solid before I start pressing it here. Now when it runs out like that, you can be relatively assured that it's pretty full. Now with her topped off, plug installed, wiped clean, rear end differential oil change is now complete. Well, good morning everybody. It's another beautiful day and another beautiful morning. It's about 6:45 a.m. on a Saturday. Our first full week of vacation is complete, and I wanted to show you guys what I did here on the old truck. These locks are a little bit different than the locks that were on it. It's made by the same company undercover as the cover is made, but these lock like this. And I just unlocked it, and then these just turn like that. And like that. And then it will unlatch and let you lift it up. I thought that was pretty cool. The other ones just had the key that turned the old hasp that was underneath here. Let me show you real quick. See So the other ones had a key that just turned this piece here. Now the whole thing turns up top. Actually, it's a much better design. They are a little bit bigger, but you don't have to lock it. I can just do this to keep it from flopping open if it ever decided to flop open. But the body of this was bigger, so I had to take a little Dremel and a burr bit and just open it up so these just fit. They got an O-ring in there to seal it off, other than a rubber gasket. What else have we done to the old F150 here? Let's jump in and I'll show you the old radio I put in. Now this is just a Planet Audio radio, nothing fancy. So it boots up like that. Then you agree not to watch movies while you're driving type of situation. Then it does streaming, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, hands-free. You can make a phone call. I got the little speaker here that I haven't mounted yet, but it's hooked up. Got the tuner here. Whoa. Don't copyright me. All right, but yeah, we've got, you can change the background. There's like 3 different backgrounds that you could have. But it does look better than the little radio that was here with the pocket underneath. But it also benefits me because I can stream from my phone, and that's what this car mount is for. This is a car mount that I've used for several years now on other vehicles, and I'm pretty pleased with it. But you can... Helps when you get it in there, right? There we go. But I've got this one right here, so I can actually have my maps here if I want. Once I get the CarPlay working on this, I'll get the Apple CarPlay working on here, and I'll be able to use my maps and stuff on this screen even. This also has the capabilities of hooking up a backup camera, a front camera, and all kinds of other fun stuff as well. So you can see the camera option here, which gives you absolutely nothing because, you know, no signal detected on the rear camera. But yeah, that turned out as a clean, nice, neat installation. I'll leave the links to the items of this down below. I didn't want to go through and show you all the wiring harness, but the harnesses are neat. I didn't mess with any of the existing wiring harnesses on this thing. I used the adapter kit that you'll see. I'll go ahead and fire it. This baby this morning. But I didn't use didn't mess up any of the original wiring harness on it. I used this adapter kit. Allows you to wire things together, plug it in, and it actually worked right out of the gate. But pretty sweet. I'm happy to have this radio in here. Very inexpensive overall. An awesome improvement to the look of the dash. Makes it look more modern than it currently is. And I'm pretty happy with it. Well, I'm going to run and get some breakfast this morning, and we're off to another day. I think we're going to hit a flea market today. And we'll see how the flea market goes. I forgot to talk about the seats. We now have, unlock. We now have several treatments. Okay, when I say several treatments, a whole bottle and then a partial another bottle of, sorry, clean out some garbage here, of that leather treatment from the chemical guys. And it's crazy how this is so soft. The back seats weren't very bad, but it definitely darkened them up a little bit. This has got an unusual, I don't know, stain or what was here that caused that one. But it's cleaned as it can get, but it has made the leather a lot softer. And it's crazy because when you put it on, now you can see, I'll see if I can grab a clip and go before and after here. And I know the lighting's not fantastic in here, but this is so much darker now in here. And I'm actually going to do a few more treatments on it because it is definitely making an improvement on the feel of the leather. Plus, it's helping protect the leather. So I'm pretty happy with that too. So far, this truck has turned out to be pretty awesome with a few little additives that I've done. And there again, my dad's done a lot of work on it. As far as he put new brakes on the front end while I was, we had bought this, I had bought this, or let's say I had him. We've had this truck since October. Not me myself, but my dad made the connections, found this truck, found a heck of a deal on it, and ended up making the deal. I told him, yeah, go ahead and make the deal, and I'll pick it up when we come back to visit you. And he's had it since last October. This is June. The first time I'm seeing the truck is this week. I am thrilled with how things have turned out so far. But there again, for a 20-year-old truck, it's in fantastic condition other than the roof, and I'll fix that roof. That's not a problem. But we did put a set of Hankook tires on it. Hankook, what are these called? Dynapro AT2 Extremes. And they're not a super aggressive tread at all, but they're tread enough. They're not just a regular street radial. They have a little bit of something there. But the fact that I found out it was a posi rear end, we're going to get the front differential fluid changed today or tomorrow. And then the fluids are taken care of, and I'll probably do the transmission fluid when I get back home. And then we're also going to do the timing chain on this truck when I get home. I got all the parts bought for that already. But there again, making improvements. See you in a bit, folks. This is how we're progressing. Hope you're enjoying the video. If you haven't already thought about subscribing, do so. Also, if you like the video, don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up. Throw a comment. There again, I learn from you guys as much as you guys learn from me. Maybe I learn more from you guys, honestly. Anything you know, any idiosyncrasies about the King Ranches other than the 5.4 Triton V8 that is a grenade, as they call it. One of the worst engines in history. I think it ranks in the top 10. That's because of the timing chain. But there again, if you look at, there again, we're so used to putting timing chains in vehicles, and then those vehicles just lasting forever and never doing anything with them, get 300,000 miles, and then the timing chain, we'll put a new timing chain in it. You know, in the old Chevy 350s and stuff like that, the old staples of America, so to speak. If you go to your Toyotas and stuff that are top quality vehicles that have timing belts, like my wife's 06 Lexus, it has a timing belt. And if you don't change that in the right intervals, which is very often, in my opinion, around 100,000 miles. I think I've read somewhere even 55,000, which doesn't seem right, but we did it at 99,000 miles, and it now has 126,000 miles. When those belts pop, that engine's done. It's an interference motor, and here again, I don't see this as being much different. I'll put a new timing chain in it. We'll go another 100,000 miles. And it isn't the timing chain that's necessarily the issue always on these. It's the guides. The guides wear. And once the guides wear, it creates slack and the tensioners get tired. And the tensioners that on the wear pieces. And then it starts to mess with the timing a little bit. And that's when you start hearing some extra noise under the hood. And that's when you better get on it. But we'll go through that one later. In another video, there'll be one specifically just for the 5.4 Triton timing chain repair, and then anything else obviously that I come along and need to do on this any of my vehicles. Like you guys seen, it's Michael in the backyard. We do whatever I have in my backyard. Alrighty, enough talk. Let's get some more fun going on. Alrighty, folks, we're back home after vacation. And we're going to do a final report out on the old King Ranch. Oh my goodness, the boss is here already. She woke up before I did. She's going out to take care of her little kittens. So, let's talk a little bit about the King Ranch and the trip home. It's locked. So as you guys can maybe not see, still got a few things in here. Yeah, there's a Buc-ee's pillow or two. They make great armrest. But as you can see here, we've got the seats treated. They look much better. The folks did a really great job of cleaning them up. I was so happy with what they did. So thankful. I can't thank them enough. Oops, stuff's falling out. Ugh. Got me a new hitch for it. One of these adjustable hitches with a 2-inch ball and 2 5/16 ball. We'll play with that sometime later. Got some stuff in here, but the seats look fantastic. It made the trip home safe and sound. I ran 17. What did I 17? I Ran 70 to 78 miles an hour most of the way home, and it performed flawlessly. It drives really, really well. Oil consumption covered just about 1,000 miles, and we're running it hard, and we were loaded down with trees. As you can see here, we bought plants and trees and trees and plants. Some liriope. I don't know if you guys know what that is. From down south, you might know. Some cement statues of my dogs, and these 3 trees over here that we're going to work on here in a bit. And we already started doing some truck things. And right here, the back end's loaded with black mulch and some landscape fabric and some edging. We're going to build a I don't know what you want to call it, an area around the trees so we don't hit them with the mower, plus something to protect them and make that a flower bed, which will eventually be what I'd call a tree bed. And we took down a big old tree over here in this area last year that was dead, and it's time to replace it with something else. So the truck had done really well, tickled to death with it. Couldn't be happier with the results. Could not be happier with the results. But everything performed as it should. We got a couple of things I want to work on. For some reason, this is up at an angle and pushed down here, and I'm not sure why. Same way over here. This is kind of dug in, and when this is down, this is kind of up a little bit and it rattles. I'm gonna see if I can address that by something. Just doesn't seem like it's quite the right angles and stuff here, and maybe not quite enough bolts were put in it. There's only 2 and there's place for 3, and it pivoted or something. I don't know. We'll have to examine. I don't know who installed it, but as you know, we still got the roof to do. Now, I did not pump the front differential fluid out because I did not have the right tools. I ordered the tools. It'll be here tomorrow. We'll get into that, and that'll wrap up this video, I think. But I wanted to show you how I'm going to pump that out. I watched other videos. I watched what they used. I've got another idea. We'll see if it works. I ordered a, what's it called? It's a transfer pump, so to speak. I used it before on pumping inboard outboard engines, the oil out of the crankcase through the dipstick hole. It's got a smaller hole that'll actually, a smaller hose that'll slip through the dipstick, and that worked out really well. Just noticed the lens was a little nasty. And we're going to use that and hook it up to a battery and, pump things out that way. My other one burned up and I never have replaced it, but now it's time to get another one, and we'll go forward from there. So enjoy a little time lapse of me doing some gardening here. Is this the right way to do this? Absolutely not. Is it the way I'm going to do it? You betcha. We drill augered 3 trees in yesterday. These bags that are around it zip up around it, and you fill the back end up here with water, and it's supposed to leak water out overnight or over a course of time and drizzle it into the ground. They're all empty right now, so we'll fill them up, but I'm going to do that after I put the landscape fabric down and the edging down. Now, some of you might think, well, you're supposed to remove all the grass. Supposed to, but I'm not going to. Why? It's not because I'm lazy, it's because I don't feel it's necessary. Once I put the landscape fabric down, and then I'm trying to build this ground up, actually. It's like, I'm gonna call it a raised bed, but not a raised bed. I want the park to be higher than everything else. Eventually, as these trees grow up, I wanna have a bark bed underneath and just keep that built up. The edging that I'm putting down could be permanent / temporary. It's a rubber edging. We'll look at the results when I'm done. I'll tell you my opinion of it. Purchased them yesterday at my local big box store, and if I see something similar on like I used on Amazon, I'll leave a link in the description below and you can go from there. But we're gonna get busy putting down this stuff and making it look good. We'll go forward from there. All right, the boss is waiting. Better get busy.